Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another 2028 election prediction. This time we have Kamala Harris up against Donald Trump Jr., Trump's son. So I don't think Trump Jr. is a good candidate at all. Uh, I don't think he has the same appeal as Donald Trump. He isn't as charismatic, so I think there'd be some drop off. But he does have the Trump last name, which would win him most Trump voters back. However, I think Trump Jr. does have a bit of a drug problem. I think it's kind of obvious when you see clips of him that there's something going on with him. So I do think that would probably hurt him in the general election. I also just don't think he is as charismatic, like I said before. But I think he would win most Trump voters back. Like in Florida, he would easily win Florida. I also think he would easily win in Iowa. I also think he would easily win in Texas against Kamala Harris. I also think he would easily win Alaska. However, I think Harris would definitely do better in most swing states than she done against Trump. So I think she would do better in New Mexico, Virginia, turn Minnesota to likely blue. New Hampshire, I still think would be a lean blue state just because registrations are turning in favor of Republicans in New Hampshire. Plus, the statewide Republican Party, they won the governorship by a pretty big margin, and they won a lot in the legislative branch in New Hampshire. So they are gaining a lot of support in this state. Maine, I would still put as likely blue. Same in New Jersey, I would put this state as likely blue. I think Trump Jr. would not win Ohio by a safe Republican margin. I think he would dip below 10 points just because I don't think he's a good candidate. Just don't really think he's as charismatic as Trump, so I think that would hurt him in Ohio. Let's see. Arizona, he would still end up winning. Trump won this by a pretty sizable margin back in 2024. Same with North Carolina. It was also a state Trump won by a pretty good margin, but there would be some decline in support with Trump Jr. as the nominee. In Georgia, I think this state honestly would be a pretty good victory for Harris here. I think she would win this beyond a tilt blue margin against Trump Jr. Again, a lot of the Atlanta suburbs still shifted towards the left, and I don't think Trump Jr. really has that appeal to stop that bleeding going on for Republicans in the Atlanta region in Georgia. I just don't think he's as good of a candidate as Trump is. Nebraska second would also shift more towards Harris, while I think Nevada would still end up going narrowly towards Trump Jr., so it's still pretty close. Then we get to the Rust Belt states. So, looking at Michigan, I think they would probably regret their vote for Trump. I think a lot of Arab and Muslim voters would regret voting for him now that he basically betrayed them by siding fully with Israel in that conflict. So I do think Harris would be able to win back Michigan here. So I think she would win it by a lean blue margin. In these last two states, I think Harris would narrowly win back Wisconsin. Wisconsin's pretty much always close in the elections. It's always usually a tilt blue or tilt R margins either way. So I think she would be able to win back in Wisconsin. Well, in Pennsylvania, it'd be close just because Donald Trump Jr. shares Trump's last name, but I think Harris would be able to narrowly beat him in Pennsylvania. So if you're new to this channel, you should totally subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. And let me know in the comments down below what other types of matchups you would like to see in the future. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.